Are there executives who are interested in taking on that Laker challenge? I believe she's going to find that the answer is yes.
For more now, let's welcome in our Adrian Wojnarowki, who actually broke this news.
What can you tell us, Woj?
Adrian is here.
Now comes the hard part for the Sacramento Kings and their GM, Vlade Divac. They won 39 games this season. They've got a terrific young core of talent, a backcourt, De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. That's the envy of any organization in the league. But they fired their coach, Dave Joerger, after a 13-game improvement, the best season in nearly a decade and a half. It is a hard next step in the NBA to go from a team that has been drafting very high in the lottery, gathering up young players, to legitimate contention. And going from 39 to 40 wins to get to 50 is the hard part. And this is an organization that does not have the infrastructure in the front office, the experience, the know-how to craft a championship contender. Divac is going to have to add that from the outside, and he's going to have to make a smart hire in coaching. He put himself out there by firing Joerger. Those two did not agree in some instances this season on playing time for young players, style of play at times. And Divac, in a lot of ways, consolidated his power with this new extension by jettisoning Joerger, who is a strong-minded coach, a strong personality in that organization. And Divac, in a lot of ways, has put a target on himself now. The next jump for the Kings, from laughingstock to relevance to trying to become a contender, it's going to be the harder one for Vlade. Jeanie Buss has so far just relied on Lakers history, its lore, bringing back Magic Johnson, hiring a general manager in Rob Pelinka, who is very well versed in the mechanics of the league, but still a first-time GM, and expecting that just being in LA, being the Lakers, having the banners above everybody would transform this to a legitimate championship contender in the West. That hasn't happened. Magic Johnson embarrassed her the way he walked out, and now he's gone. That's on Jeanie Buss. And she's got to start looking at this Lakers organization, not in the context of Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant and all the history there, but in context to the rest of the NBA, and understand that to compete at the highest level, she's got to have the brightest basketball minds in the NBA working for her. And to do that, Jeanie Buss has to start looking outside the organization at elite team builders in the NBA, elite executives, starting with Bob Myers in Golden State and R.C. Buford in San Antonio, Sam Presti, Oklahoma City, Neil O'Shea in Portland, and Masai Ujiri in Toronto, and find out among that group and even a broader swath, are there executives who are interested in taking on that Laker challenge? I believe she's going to find that the answer is yes, and more than one potentially of the elite candidates in the league. But make no mistake, Jeanie Buss is on the clock now as the Lakers owner, and how she proceeds in this post-Magic Johnson era in the Lakers front office, it may dictate the next decade for this organization. In the matter of just a few moments on the last night of the regular season at Staples Center, Luke Walton's future as a coach in the NBA changed dramatically. At the moment Magic Johnson was walking into an impromptu news conference to announce his resignation, a lot of the Laker assistant coaches and staff were saying their goodbyes around the arena, expecting that they would all be fired the next day by Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. And then Magic Johnson quits and everything changes for Luke Walton. Less than 24 hours later, he's sitting face to face with Rob Pelinka in the Lakers exit meetings, knowing full well that Pelinka expected to come in and fire Walton that day. And now the two of them, at least for the short term, are tied together. Walton has one guaranteed season left on his contract and then a team option for 2020-21. And he has done enough and built a good enough reputation in the league that he's going to be considered for other openings. The question is going to be, can he go forward with the group there? Jeanie Buss is going to have to make that call, and that's going to be one of the storylines to watch here in the Lakers offseason. The first round of the Western Conference playoffs may be a lot more competitive. That's based on the fact there's just a deeper pool of teams in the Western Conference. But the conference semifinals in the East, they promise to shape the future of not only the Eastern Conference, but the entire NBA, maybe for the next decade. Because you have teams like Boston with Kyrie Irving, Toronto with Kawhi Leonard, and Philadelphia with 2 free agents, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. How those teams fare in the conference semis may very well dictate how those players feel about staying or leaving in free agency. With Kyrie Irving, the Celtics know this. Not only do they probably need to advance pretty deep in these playoffs for him to feel good about his future there, when the playoffs are over, the Celtics are going to turn their attention to Anthony Davis. And the idea of getting an agreement in principle on a trade with New Orleans for Davis before Irving becomes a free agent on July 1, the Celtics increasingly are feeling like that's what it may take to get Irving to commit long-term. And then Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. That's the one player that executives and people around the league think will be less influenced by how far his team goes in the postseason. Toronto can pay him more than anybody else, but California is home. The Clippers are in strong position to be able to lure him away. And for the Raptors, this organization may never have a better chance to win a championship than they do this year. A tremendous amount at stake in these Eastern Conference playoffs. It's going to influence the future of this league for years to come. Thanks for watching ESPN's YouTube channel. Please subscribe and look for more editions of the Woj Report